Is it really sensible to spend $70 million on a single car? Well, yes. If not, why would these 9 most expensive cars in the world even exist? These cars are not just means of transportation. They are passion, they are relics, they are memories. For example, the Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna, a limited edition electric hypercar that is more than just a magnificent display of wealth. It's the wet dream of any car collector, as it pays tribute to Hispano-Suiza's great victories in the most important race in the world 100 years ago. I'm talking about the dawn of motorsport. The Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna is a glimpse into the greatness of this manufacturer in the past. In the 1920s, Hispano-Suiza was synonymous with fast racing cars. Naturally, they managed to win the first 3 editions of the most important race of the time, the Georges Boilat Cup, held near the small town of Boulogne-sur-Mer. Those who had gasoline in their veins sighed for the Hispano-Suizas of those glorious days. And I guess the manufacturer has decided to bring back those fond memories. So, in 2022, during the Geneva Motor Show, Hispano-Suiza unveiled its magnificent tribute to those glory days, the Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna. This limited edition car was literally handcrafted and definitely deserves the title of hypercar. Its 1100 horsepower can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in less than 2.6 seconds. The interior of the car is just as impressive as its exterior. It features luxurious leather and Alcantara upholstery, hand-stitched details, a custom-made infotainment system. During the show, collectors were about to fight when it was revealed that only 5 units of this beauty would be made. And that's how the bidding started. Finally, the price of a single Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna reached the astonishing figure of about $9 million. If you're drooling over the Hispano-Suiza, don't be silly. It wasn't even the most expensive car showcased at the Geneva Motor Show 3 years earlier. The spotlight was stolen by a true masterpiece that would chase the dreams of any enthusiast and drive them to madness. Note that this would be a great Lovecraftian horror. The setting is perfect for the HD. It tries to capture the glory of the 1930s and evoke the spirit of a Model D, but supercharging it with a twin-turbo V engine that produces up to 1,000 horsepower. Then the camera zooms in on the price tag, and everyone who sees it goes crazy. This isn't too far from reality, as you'll have to pay around $2.3 million to have the pleasure of driving it. Millions to have the pleasure of driving the D12. Yeah, the D12 is a real beast. A speedster, if you will. Its main duty is to leave everyone else in the rearview mirror. So, naturally, it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.6 seconds. It's a true sports car, and it's the closest thing to an F you'll ever see on an open road. As you can imagine, it's not a family car. It's not even a car to share with your partner. The D is fiercely jealous, so it only allows 1 passenger on board with the driver. So if you're going out to get lucky, there's no need to take the 12. You're already lucky to have it. With only 50 units made, it's no surprise that some of the biggest names in entertainment and business got their hands on one. Jay Leno, Rupert Murdoch, Bernard Arnold, and Aliko Dangote are among the lucky few who managed to get their hands on this beast of a car. And it's not easy. Rumor has it that Jay Leno's hairs turned white while he was negotiating for the car. Of course, they're lies, but you should never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Just like you should never let the price of a car get in the way of you and the vehicle of your dreams. I mean, $2.3 million is just pocket change, really. But as you can see, not all cars are that affordable. For example, the McLaren Solus. The McLaren Solus is a track-only hypercar, unveiled in 2022. It gained fame when a billionaire played with police. Of course, not on public roads, since the Solus is a conceptual hypercar meant for the track. Even though the car was unveiled to the public in 2022 at the Monterey Car Week in California, it became famous in the early months of 2023 when one of the few billionaires who managed to get their hands on this beast with a 5.2-liter V10 engine decided to play cat and mouse with the police in Monaco. The best part was that the McLaren Solus outran the entire police force of Monaco and vanished into France. So, how do you disappear with a $3.5 million car when there are only 25 of them? I have no idea. I mean, when one of these beauties was stolen from the Royal Garage in Dubai, it was recovered in just a few hours. The thieves were never found, but to be honest, Prince Hamdan was probably using them for target practice with his favorite fleet of ultra-luxurious tanks. But come on, can you really blame these guys for trying to get their hands on one of these beauties? Just look at the magnificent contours, the body, the aggressive lines. The front is clearly inspired by combat aircraft, and it's no wonder you feel like flying when you're behind the wheel of this beast. The face is clearly inspired by the combat houses, and it's no wonder you feel like flying when you're on board this beast. I mean, have you ever tried going from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds? Or go to 200? I bet that's how a home pilot feels. It's just that they're not surrounded by so much luxury, and they don't have the privilege of controlling all the systems through various buttons on the steering wheel. Probably because they have a lever that goes boom boom when you press the big red button on top. But let's get back to reality, okay? Yeah, the McLaren Solus is a masterpiece, but it's far from being the most impressive car on the planet. It's only $3.5 million, after all. But don't let this lucratively low price tempt you. After all, you can snag a Lamborghini Charny Roadster for just 200 grand, and that's a deal you'd want to jump on in a heartbeat. If some billionaire decides to don a dark bat suit and start fighting crime, the Lamborghini Charny Roadster will definitely be the right car for a Batmobile. The only problem is that only 19 units were made. So, unfortunately, 2000, this billionaire crime fighter will be easily recognizable. That and the fact that no one builds a Lazy Susan for their car in a cave by themselves. So, yeah, a few hundred contractors might know your identity long before they see you in this gorgeous car. Well, forget about fighting crime. You can enjoy the Lamborghini Charm Roadster instead. And what's not to love about the Alcantara interior, complemented by fine Italian leather, the custom infotainment system, the full-length glass roof, or the speed? And, oh my God, can this car make your blood boil? Sean means lightning in Bolognese dialect, and this hypercar definitely deserves that name. With a 12-cylinder engine in quintuplet 1, a 49-volt hybrid system, this car will take you to the moon and bring you back faster than the Apollo program. Paying $3.7 million for this beauty almost feels like a steal. It's no surprise that Jay Leno got himself one too. Yeah, the former TV host knew how to satisfy his taste for the finest cars. Yes, the Lamborghini Charm Roadster is a true masterpiece that combines speed, luxury, and class. But let's not forget that there's only one car brand in the world that's synonymous with being a billionaire. If you've been following my channel closely, you might have noticed that all billionaires own a Bugatti Veyron. It's the bare minimum to get into the 9-figure club. However, the Veyron is just an entry-level car. Any idiot with a 10-figure bank account can own a Veyron. However, only true connoisseurs of the automotive arts will buy a Bugatti Centodieci. One of them is Cristiano Ronaldo. The living legend of football is obsessed with the Bugatti brand and owns several magnificent examples of their finest works. He bought the Holy Dieci to celebrate his second title with Juventus in 2020 and to commemorate his 37 goals with the Bianconeri. The Portuguese forward fell in love with this car and even paid an extra $100,000 to repaint the Bugatti in the colors of Portugal. That's how you show patriotism, not by dying in a pointless war. The Ronaldo Centodieci cost him only $10.8 million, but since there are only 10 of this beautiful celebration of Bugatti's 110th anniversary in the world, its price today is nearing $14 million. This might sound a bit pricey, but hey, class isn't cheap, you know? And the 14 with 6 zeros behind it is totally worth it if you want to be in the same club as Francois. Bam. Cristiano Ronaldo. Fitzburg Card. Scott Bladner, a nameless Saudi prince that we all know as Mohammed bin Salman. Except his is gold and could easily be worth over 20 million. Even though the Centodieci costs over 20 million. Looking at its magnificent interior and exterior, the price is totally worth it. Just look at this magnificent design. But this Bugatti isn't just pretty, it's a beast too, as it can go from 0 to 100 in just 2.4 seconds and reach a top speed of 236 miles per hour. That's almost as fast as Usain Bolt. That is, Val has a jet engine on his back. I'm afraid you won't be getting a Centodieci anytime soon, as no one is selling theirs and Bugatti is out of stock. But I have something even better for you if you're looking for something in the same price range. A masterpiece that could put any Bugatti owner to shame. A $14.4 million SP. Later. Owning an SP Automotive Chaos may not be as prestigious as owning a Bugatti, but when you pay $14.4 million for a Greek car, you know you're buying something unique. Yes, Greece is known for its culture, calling a pile of rocks a beach, its delicious food, and, of course, its mythology. What they are not famous for is making luxury cars. The Spiros Panopoulos Automotive Chaos, however, definitely deserves to be the center of attention. When the designers at SP Automotive set out to create this masterpiece, I guess they looked at the Greek economy. I guess that's where the model name comes from. However, just like the Greek financial crisis, it may have started in chaos, but in the end, the Greeks came out stronger than ever. The same goes for the car. At first glance, the car looks like Hephaestus was trying to forge a new lightning bolt for Zeus, considering the top speed of this beast, which could actually be true. Still, the final product is one of the most futuristic and beastly supercars on the market. Every curve and contour of its meticulously crafted body is a testament to the art of automotive engineering. With a top speed of 310 kilograms in just 1.5 seconds, the Chaos is nothing less than a rocket in disguise. When you get on board, you'll feel the same way. Just look at this futuristic design. It feels like you're riding in an X-Wing fighter, not a car, just that the X-Wings were a bit slower. Still, the most impressive thing about this magnificent display of wealth is that around 78% of it is completely 3D printed. Well, while your 3D printer might use cheap plastic to create those precious Naruto figures, the one at the SPS factory uses titanium, which bumps the price up just a bit beyond what's considered sensible. So if you want to buy one, get in line. There are only 20 of them on the market, and they've all been snatched up like hotcakes at a farmer's market. So, the price of $14.4 million is no longer such a big hurdle. Neither is the $18.9 million you could pay for a Bugatti. The Voiture we're using. That's the last known price, as Cristiano Ronaldo was the last one to buy this magnificent beast. In 2019, Ronaldo was spending the $300 million he received when he signed with Juventus over 3 years. Yet Ronaldo rarely makes headlines for his shopping spree, spending millions virtually every week. However, when you buy the most expensive and lavish car of the moment, it's bound to turn some heads. It's bound to get people talking. Ronaldo's car was very special, since it was the last one to find an owner. Before him, David Beckham, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and other wealthy folks managed to snag this beauty for a much lower price, around $11 million. However, for Ronaldo, it was an important part of his collection. He grew up in Madeira in a poor family, and he often went with his friends to the marina to check out the magnificent cars parked there. That's when he vowed that one day he would own the most expensive car in the world. If I had been his friend back then, I would have made a bet with him and I would have lost. Looking at the car, it feels like you can't help but think that $18.9 million just isn't enough to pay for this tremendous display of power. The interior of the Voiture Noire used is lined with the finest leather and Alcantara, featuring a series of custom touches that reflect the car's exclusivity. And check out that carbon fiber body. This car is nothing short of a supermodel. Still, the car is missing some essential luxuries that I just can't overlook. I mean, where am I supposed to chill my champagne? And am I really supposed to drink it out of plastic cups? As always, I have to turn to Rolls-Royce to meet my high standards. Yeah, its boat tail will cost me about 10 million on top, but who cares when you can take your loved one on a picnic without needing to bring any supplies? The Rolls-Royce is more than just a method of transportation. It's a bold statement of status and dominance. I can imagine Tufan Ergin Biljig, the CEO of Rolls-Royce, going on a date with his wife, and they ended up by a lake parking like a Rolls-Royce, and he thought, you know what this car needs? A retractable umbrella, a table, and benches that come out of the trunk. And that's how the boat tail was born. Indeed, this magnificent model offers some extravagant luxuries that no other car can provide. The car's long lines and sharp rear pay homage to the hulls of classic boats, while the split rear section, reminiscent of stern decks, adds a touch of nostalgia. However, the boat tail also features several unique and innovative exterior characteristics. The most notable feature is the retractable umbrella, which elegantly unfolds from the car's rear deck to provide shade for the occupants. Made with the same fabric as the car's roof, it operates by pressing a specific button on the vehicle's key fob. Additionally, the exterior of the boat tail is adorned with custom ornaments, like the Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament and the boat tail nameplate, both meticulously crafted from solid silver. The custom wheels also stand out with a twisted spoke design that complements the overall aesthetic of the vehicle. Step inside the Rolls-Royce boat tail and you'll find an interior that matches the grandeur of the exterior. The cabin is spacious, comfortable, and meticulously finished with the finest materials available. One of the most extraordinary features of the boat tail's interior is the custom champagne cooler. The cabin is spacious, comfortable, and meticulously finished with the finest materials available. One of the most extraordinary features of the boat tail's interior is the custom champagne cooler. Perfectly integrated into the rear deck and connected to the car's audio system, this custom-designed cooler ensures that a bottle of champagne stays perfectly chilled. It even includes specially designed crystal glasses to match the car's interior. What more can you ask for from a car that's more expensive than 99% of the houses on the planet? Apparently, Beyoncé and Jay-Z, along with Pharrell Williams and a mysterious Middle Eastern pearl magnate, had the same idea when they got their hands on the only 3 cars of this kind that have ever been made. At least Beyoncé and Jay-Z were kind enough to show us its beauty. Still, the pampering will always take a backseat to the memories. When it comes to price, at least that's what we can learn from the most expensive car of 2023, the Ferrari 250 GTO. Legendary. That's the only way to describe the 250 GTO. If for you cars are more than just something to sit in during traffic jams, the Ferrari 250 GTO needs no introduction. This is the car that Mike Parks and Willie Maris drove to win the 1,000 kilometers race at Nürburgring in 1962. This car won Le Mans in 1962 and 1963, one of the toughest car races of all time, the Targa Florio. In fact, the 250 GTO won it 3 years in a row. Toughest car races of all time, the Targa Florio. In fact, the 250 GTO won it 3 years in a row. This is the car you had posters of when you were a kid. This is the car your parents would have sold to an Arab prince to buy. Fortunately for you, Ferrari only produced 36 units of this piece of history, 33 of which have the original Series 1 body. Even though all the cars are accounted for, no one is really willing to part with this treasure. To start with, getting a Ferrari isn't that easy. Whenever there's a limited edition series like the 250 GTO, you can't just walk in and throw a couple million at the cashier yelling, "Shut up and take my money." Like in Prime Futurama. In 1962, when Ferrari was getting ready to produce this iconic car, Enzo Ferrari himself approved the candidates for the car. Of course, back then, the price wasn't anywhere near as astronomical as it is today. In 1962, a new Ferrari would cost the equivalent of $183,000 today. Dude, change. The price, however, started to skyrocket in the late 70s. It hit the $1 million mark in 1986 and seemed to have forgotten how to stop. In 2018, Dave McNeil, the founder of WeatherTech, bought a 250 GTO for a staggering $70 million. Now that's a record. It would take some time to be beaten. Yes, this Ferrari is the epitome of a sports car, one that defies all ages and eras. However, it lacks some of the luxuries that the most luxurious vehicles in the world have. While the most expensive cars are certainly a good choice for collectors and investors, the most luxurious ones are preferred by the richest billionaires. Whether it's for their lavish finishes, stunning designs, or their blend of class and technology, these cars are at the pinnacle of luxury, not just on par with other vehicles, but with private jets and luxury yachts. You just have to click on this video to see what the ultra-rich passengers of the $1 million Rolls-Royce Phantom can do.